This is another video of my honest talk about the practice, about the difficulties of the practice. Not difficulties when we are not able to continue practicing, but the difficulties that arise showing us that the path is not easy. Although I'm ready to continue to apply the right effort, I see that the practice of detachment should be really continuous, and for this the development of mindfulness should be continuous, to detect those attachments of ours. This time I see the contaminations, defilements of my mind arising not anymore about worldly pleasures, worldly occupations. I see that now my mind starts to be more attached to the life that I lead, monastic life, and with Thabarwa as the organization where I'm involved in, where I practice. Because I deeply appreciate the practice that is beneficial for me and that I try to make beneficial for others. And I see how mind starts being attached to what is dear to me. I was discussing about spreading now our centers outside of Myanmar, and was given example of starting to develop in US, while one of practitioners, who is not a Thabarwa practitioner, just somebody with whom I share, he mentioned to me about certain monks who start developing their own monastery in America. He gave me a link to watch a video about their acquisition of the land, and I started watching, being happy for them that they also come to America and they also spread Dhamma, and they also build a place for people to practice. America is so huge, and we should be many serious practitioners and monks and nuns who would come and bring Dhamma to people who are not familiar yet with Dhamma, or who are familiar but they don't go to practice in Asia, and they need these opportunities to practice in America. And the more I watched, the more I felt similarity. They have a project to build a big monastery and residences for monastics and for lay practitioners, and meditation halls and meditation spaces outside. And this is what we are going to do, because we got a land donation, and we are going to develop it too. So I was curious to learn about their experience, and I kept on watching. And they shared the microphone to discuss within their team, and I saw how many Westerners are involved in the project. Everyone was talking about a part of job that they did with permits, with engineering, with planning, with donations. And I saw how good it is to have that many foreigners. I keep saying foreigners because my organization is mainly based with Myanmar people, and I consider myself a foreigner as they consider me. So how many Westerners there are in their group? And I started feeling, instead of just joy that I was feeling for them and for us for doing such wholesome deeds, I started feeling jealousy on my mind. I could remark this arising and notice and understand the nature of the mind, and just kept watching, trying to pay attention to what is wholesome and abandon what is unwholesome. However, this is not easy. Although generally in my life jealousy is not the feeling that pertains to me, I'm not familiar with it in my worldly life, in my lay life. Now somehow it comes. And although I practice everything, trying just to follow the teaching of Sayadaw Thammasara, to do only, here I also try just to know only, and to do for Thabarwa only, and to do without attachment. However, somehow, just because there is, of course, ignorance in my mind, no matter how much I work on development of mindfulness and detachment, and the mindfulness is present because I could detect the ignorance. Ignorance by itself doesn't know that it is there. Ignorance doesn't know how it blurs the mind and what conditions it brings and what unwholesome states it creates. Only mindfulness can know. So due to the practice, I can have also moments of mindfulness, and it means that mindfulness and ignorance arise just one after another, since I felt that jealousy continuously spreading over my mind just for the fact of Westerners present in the group of other monastics who are developing their projects in America. Heartfully, I felt how much I want to help Thabarwa grow, because no matter how much we can be developing conditions for spreading the word of Buddha, this is not enough. Thabarwa does something bigger. Thabarwa does for all, without limits. Thabarwa does not only for the already existing meditators, but it does for the potential meditators. One might say, yes, of course, every monastery is created for those who are already there, who come and practice, as well as for those who will come in the future. But I mean more than that. Those who know Thabarwa, they know. Those who don't know, you should know to understand this important principle that in Thabarwa we accept all people, even those who don't meditate, even those who can't even keep precepts, 5 basic precepts, like those who have problems with alcohol, who are addicts to alcohol or to drugs, those who have lost their meaning of life, they had some trouble in the society, maybe they're deprived of their homes, they are in problem with their families and they find themselves alone and hopeless. Those who have diseases and are rejected by hospitals, or it's really not helping them, they find their way to Thabarwa, because this is a place where we meditate not in the concept of creating a quiet space just to sit and dwell in your quiet practice. But meditation here is to link to the reality of things how they are. Meditation is to bring the law of all into action, rather than rules and regulations and preferences and comforts. The law of all is karma. So Thabarwa functions mainly by the law of karma. And those people who are not actual meditators, they were born into this world as a part of karma, and there is their own personal karma. If we can talk about someone, if we refer to the concept of created concept of someone, then they have their own karma. But then there is also collective karma, and the collective karma and the karma of the world functioning. So Thabarwa refers rather to the law of karma, and this is why everyone is welcome, because they all make a part of each one's karma too, each one's conditions to realize the karma. In this way, we create conditions for practice for everyone, and practice which is unlimited. It is quite easy, it is never easy to practice mindfulness, to practice vipassana is never easy, but it is quite easy in a quiet, secluded place where all the conditions are created just for quieting the mind. And it is quite challenging to practice it in the real conditions of life, where all different people with all their backgrounds come together and depict the truth of anything that is possible in life, in the world. Anything is possible, and it comes true in Thabarwa. So meditation that we practice, that we at least try to learn to understand, is the meditation of the truth of happening, of not rejecting and not attaching, but just knowing and understanding. Being with the reality of things as they are. And there are those who are practitioners, who can be formally seen as practitioners because they can sit formally, or they can be mindful in their daily action, which we can also distinguish. And there are those who might be not seen as formal practitioners, but by being in the center, they practice at least the detachment from the society, and they practice the detachment from the habitual life as it is. And they practice detachment from their own limits, because in Thabarwa they have to share the space and the conditions. So in Thabarwa, Thabarwa is translated from the language of Burma as nature. This is the nature, like here a bit around me, the trees, but this is the nature of things as they are, nature of happening. And our teacher, Sayadaw Tamasara, he teaches about Thabarwa as ever-changing, selfless, impermanent nature, which we try to see and to learn with our experience in Thabarwa and wherever we are. So this concept of what Thabarwa does for the world, not for oneself. Exactly, we learn to detach from oneself and do for others. We learn to free from self, which is a teaching of Buddha, which is a path towards liberation, to be free from oneself. So there's plenty of opportunity to practice this in Thabarwa. So as Thabarwa does not for oneself but for many, really I feel in my heart that we should be able to develop and grow and have supporters. Because of course without the supporters it is very difficult to do. We try to do without attachment, and this is what I learn and try to do. And this is how this video appeared, that I felt the contradiction. I felt no matter how much I learn and practice, and I am successful in doing without attachment, but here I found the point of my attachment. Now I am attached to developing the idea of Thabarwa, understanding already by my own experience its importance, that those people who can't meditate yet, they come and have a chance to stay together with those who meditate. They can get our merits. They can get our example. They can get example of those who do many different good deeds, helping the sick, building, cleaning, teaching, taking care. Many those who lose themselves in doing for others. They create this chance for those drug addicts and alcoholics, for those people who lost their principles in the society and found themselves in our community in Thabarwa. They have a chance to see, to understand, to inhabit, to grow. They receive their merits, and if they don't meditate this life with those merits, with that example in front of their eyes, they have a chance to be reborn again as a human being, and then they will practice. they will know, they will step on the real steady path of Dhamma. So what we are doing now is not doing for our own practice, silent, quiet practice. We are, I may say, I sacrifice the quietude and comfort of the practice of my mind for the opportunity for others to be able to see and take this imprint and step on the path of Dhamma too. And this is the understanding that comes with time. I've been following Thabarwa since 2014. Now it's 2016. It's been 12 years. I've been on and off, offline, and I've been always on my mind. I mean, offline, present with Thabarwa. There has been presence online, and there has always been Thabarwa principles and the teaching of Sayadaw Tamasara on my mind that I have been practicing. But now I feel much deeper understanding and appreciation of Thabarwa, which is so challenging, which I myself questioned many times, but I kept faith and appreciation in the teaching that Sayadaw explains in words, and that we need to have patience and really faith, trust, to keep seeing the action to understand more. Now when seeing other monks developing their monastery, feeling happy for them and seeing the similarity, suddenly I was struck by that jealousy, just jealousy of more Westerners who have understanding of how and what and where, and who are present in the country where they were born, and who are interested in Buddhism, who are interested in the practice, and they are very helpful. While we come as a Myanmar community, greatly supported by a Vietnamese community, but still they remain Asians in America. I myself come originally from Belarus, and I lived for 10 years in Switzerland. And I traveled a lot, and I also lived in Israel for 5 years. And I feel myself quite universal. But I'm still a Westerner, and there are not many of us in Thabarwa. So I really feel that I do have that attachment to have more Westerners in Thabarwa. But not so much for myself, just to have a chit-chat. I'm not for that. I would share more of Dhamma, I would discuss more of the benefits of practice together. But I really would like to have more Westerners to benefit from the teaching that we bring and help us come to those corners of the world where we can be useful. Help come and get established and get recognized by those who need help. So having those negative states of mind, I started doing my work, trying not to take them as negative, but to take them as the nature of the mind, as the defilements that I need to recognize and just abandon. But together with that, I started developing the positive mind of deep appreciation of what we do and willingness to share, willingness to spread the word. We do not reject the monasteries which are made specifically to spread Dhamma talks and meditation practice. And we also do that, but we do much more. We do a lot of Dhamma in action. So I heartily spread this message in this video, where I'm sharing my own work on my mind, on the defilements, on my path with Thabarwa. And I should continue to do without attachment and just do only. I even try to contemplate now, shall I do just believe in the success? No, this is also not right. This still involves attachment. I'm trying to find the right state of mind to install and try to maintain. This should be mind which is free from going in the future to believe into something, to believe into any success. This should be mind based in the present moment, taking refuge in the good deeds that already I'm doing, taking refuge in the others, in the teamwork when we are doing together, and in the right understanding of no self, ever-changing, selfless, impermanent nature. With this mindset, I should be able just to know what is right to do and to do so. And being mindful of whatever may arise which is not right, and to abandon. And to detach from whatever is right or wrong. Just detach with the right understanding of doing only.